Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Innovation at Penn Austin virtual pitch event. So for the past 3 years, first of all, my name is Emma Voss, and I am the president of the Penn and Wharton Alumni Club here in Austin. And for the past 3 years, we've had the pleasure of hosting these amazing entrepreneurs from the Penn Center for Innovation live in person at South by Southwest. And this year, with South by Southwest being canceled, we still wanted to continue this amazing tradition. And so we are here offering it up as a virtual event. It's been a great way, for us to foster relationships amongst our alumni and with the school. And we've also had in the past alumni from Austin invest in the company. So we wanted to continue that. And with that, I'll hand it over to Lori Ackman, who is the CMO of the Penn Center for Innovation, to give us a little background and as well as an intro to the companies that are presenting. Go ahead, Lori.
Thanks so much, Emma, and thanks to everyone who's joining us. I'm Lori Ackman with the Penn Center for Innovation. I've had the incredible pleasure, as Emma said, for the past few years to help facilitate the Penn delegation to South by Southwest, which has included some of our most innovative startups that have emerged through PCI, the Penn campus, Wharton, PCI Ventures, and the Pennovation Center. And we've developed some amazing relationships with the Penn Wharton Alumni Club, which is comprised of many entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and others in the entrepreneurial space. And it's been actually one of the most rewarding and fun activities I've gotten to engage in since I joined Penn. The community in Austin, as those based in Austin know, is a fast-growing and I would say at this point established tech hub. And the relationships that have been made between the alumni group and our startups have been very fruitful. And despite, all the disruption this year, and also let me just acknowledge this has been, I think, a really hard week for everyone across the country on top of already a hard year. We wanted to, find a way to make sure that we were connecting the startups that were supposed to travel with us to our alumni in Austin and give them the chance to do some relationship building and also just make sure that we had a touch point this year. Our intention is to come back to Austin as soon as we can, whether it's in 2021 or the following year. And also just let everyone know that we're always available virtually or however you want to get in touch if you ever make it to Philadelphia, to connect you with our startups emerging out of Penn, to show off the Pennovation Center, and make sure you stay connected to the entrepreneurial ecosystem that has really exploded at Penn in Philadelphia in the last 5 years. And without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to the first startup pitching today, which is Alphagora.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Robert, and I'm from Alphagora, where we sell subscriptions to automated cryptocurrency trading tools. And I just wanted to tell you a little bit about our story today. So we launched Alphagora in January of 2019 with a mission to democratize financial asset management. Our goal was to deliver hedge fund grade trading tools to the 700,000 plus people that owned at least one Bitcoin, plus the thousands of others who owned other crypto assets, so they can manage their assets in the same way institutions did. So we reviewed the market, found that there was huge excitement for technologies like this, with Crypto Hopper gaining 80,000 users in a year and a half, and analogs in traditional finance like Collective 2 being very popular. So we raised some funding from Penn, $7,000 in non-dilutive grants, and a large AWS credit funding, which is very nice of AWS. And we built our first technologies. So really our beta became a portfolio manager where a user can manage multiple different strategies across multiple different assets and across multiple different exchanges. It became a range of different strategies that we built that were quantitative and machine learning in nature that these original beta users can subscribe to, and an order management system which would automatically execute the algorithm's signals on that customer's exchange account. So effectively, when customers come to Alphagora, they're subscribing to trading strategies that automatically manage their assets for them. So this is what the platform looks like, and this is a step-by-step sort of guide to setting up an account. Now, we actually are releasing updates as we're speaking. We're at a very interesting pivot and transition time, which I'll tell you about in a little bit. But effectively, when you come to the platform, the first thing you do is connect your cryptocurrency exchange. So many of you may be familiar with exchanges such as Coinbase. Alphagora never custodies anyone's assets. All of the assets are kept on exchanges, and the APIs allow us allow our order management system to automatically execute the algorithms market orders on the exchange accounts. This is the marketplace where you can choose from a range of different strategies for different assets at different frequencies. The customer can see the live performance of any strategy they want to see, the historical performance on hypothetical virtual accounts, and then they can manage multiple different strategies for multiple different assets all in one place. So the beta was interesting. We had about 140 signups, and in 2019 we did $10,000 in revenue, but it was clear to us that we were going after the wrong customer because a lot of the beta users were retail users. We limited the amount you were allowed to trade during the beta to be up to $10,000. And it was clear that retail users were skeptical. They were using sandbox accounts where they were just trading with a little bit of money. And that's when we started getting sort of solicitations from institutional customers who just wanted to throw money at the platform and subscribe. And the reason for that is that they wanted crypto exposure, but they wanted to do it by hedging the risk. And they wanted access to the types of tools that the institutions were maybe using in traditional finance. And also, they didn't want to day trade because it's a miserable experience. So what ended up happening was we launched Alphagora Labs and started building technologies designed for qualified and accredited and sophisticated investors. And we raised our max trading limit to $250,000 and started charging $2,000 a month for a software license to use the platform. So we ended up doing $200,000 in revenue. Actually, $50,000 of this is in accounts payable, but nonetheless, we are moving forward with this institutional sort of strategy, and we're doing it through a private offering. So we were able to align our original investors as company stakeholders as well. So these original investors are actually paying us for 2 years worth of service up front, and you can reach out to our general counsel if you want further information on that. So our trading volume skyrocketed. This number was actually, I believe, early March, $4.1 million in trade volume across our accounts. This has since gone up again at a factor of millions. So, and we launched the house funds, so we have put company funds towards our algorithms naturally. And we're also interested in doing a volume fund where we increase the Alphagora sort of associated trade volume, and we think that'll put us in a good position to negotiate with exchanges. We updated our institutional client acquisition strategy, and we launched a brand development strategy that's in line with sort of how hedge funds attract clients. So that's the story of Alphagora so far, and I just wanted to, before I finish, tell you a little bit about what our next steps are. And that is that we've run into an issue now with our institutional pricing model. So it turns out charging a high rate of a flat monthly fee with no consideration into how the algorithms perform or how their technology performs is a barrier to entry to a lot of customers. Um, we make no representations about our algorithms, and all the risk is assumed by the trader. We've been sort of watching the market, and it's, companies like OmniX, there's a lot of funding that's got into sort of updating and building very powerful order management systems. And that's because the order management system, that automated execution tool is more than just automatically executing algorithms. Its job is to find the right time to execute a trade and to execute large volumes, trades that are of large volume in a way that prevents slippage, for example. So companies like OmniX have raised millions and millions of dollars. They actually just did another round it closed last week. There was another company that was an OMS that actually just exited to Coinbase for institutions. There's another company that raised like $17 million to, do an OMS. And that's largely because we think the investor community is interested in building future technologies where institutions are going to be able to engage with it and get exposure to crypto. And we think this is in our timeline too. Don't get me wrong, but we think in the near term, it's more appropriate to be going after customers and to build cash flow. And so we have considered sort of options as to what we're going to convert our business into, regulatory options that allow us to change our pricing model. And sort of, we considered these three. The robo-advisor and the hedge fund have made the cut, and these are the types of pricing options that we want to do. We're considering management fees, we're considering OMS fees that are tied to volume, and we're considering performance fees that are tied to the algorithms. So, we've gotten a lot of positive feedback about this new pricing sort of situation. And as we make decisions about how we're converting, we're going to roll out a new pricing strategy that we think will help us attract even more customers. So that's the story of the company.
Thanks for participating. Next, we're going to move on to Lilu. This is a company that actually has traveled with us down to South by Southwest previously and participated in our I-Core program. It's amazing to see what they've done.
Nice to see everyone. And for those that I don't know and vice versa, I'm Adriana. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lilu, where we build technology to empower new moms. 86% of new moms start to breastfeed, but most moms are also returning to work within 4 months of giving birth. So to juggle a busy schedule with breastfeeding, moms need to rely on breast pumps. So let me show you how moms feel about that. Moms find it painful. It is making moms miserable. And we really think it should not be this way. We believe that moms deserve more, which is why we're building a suite of tech-enabled products designed to empower new moms, starting by making pumping more comfortable and more efficient for new moms. This is the team that's making it happen. Sujay and I combine experience in product design, engineering, and computer science from MIT and UPenn. And Shahir and Megan combine experience in marketing and sales and a successful track record of growing consumer and health tech innovations. We also have the support of amazing advisors like Dr. Spatz, who is the director of the lactation program at the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, and Cara Forney, who is the founder of The Bump, a leading publication for millennial moms. So let's go back to pumping. The main reason that moms start quitting earlier than recommended is that they cannot pump enough milk to feed their babies, which forces them to complement with formula or quit breastfeeding altogether. For moms, this is a heart-wrenching choice. There are serious health consequences associated with not breastfeeding. For children who are not breastfed, they are at a higher risk of illnesses and even death. Later in life, moms who do not breastfeed are also more prone to develop life-altering cancers and type 2 diabetes. That's why it's so important to improve pumping technology, so that more moms can meet their breastfeeding goals. Current pumping technology only uses suction to extract milk, and this has a lot to do with why moms are not able to pump enough milk. Research from Stanford shows that massaging while pumping helps moms pump up to 48% more milk every session. So if you think about it, without this massage, what's happening is that a lot of the milk is left behind in the breast, signaling to the body to produce less milk. However, massaging while pumping every single time is unsustainable. Moms are pumping 3 to 4 times a day and up to 8 times a day for premature babies. While at Penn, Sujay, my co-founder, and I used research insights from Soft Robotics to develop a product that would enable moms to get all the proven benefits of breast massage hands-free. Our patented pneumatic massage technology is embedded into a proprietary bra that helps moms pump 30% more milk. The Lilu massage bra works with all standard breast pumps and has been cleared as a Class 1 medical device by the FDA. We took pre-orders last year in April and started shipping in September. We have shipped close to 400 Lilu bras, and the reviews are coming in strong. Moms find it beneficial and have called it a breastfeeding savior. And for moms like Emily, it's helped her avoid having to feed her baby boy formula. In fact, she's able to pump 2 more bottles of breast milk every day. We currently reach our customers through 2 channels. Through our website, where we see margins of over 60% and a high return on ad spend. And this past quarter, we signed 2 very promising B2B2C deals. One with Motherly, which is a specialized maternity store, and the second with the FSA store. With these, we're well positioned for ongoing growth over the next quarters as we continue to build brand awareness and build partnerships for more efficient customer acquisition. One that we're pretty excited about is with Mami, which will allow Lilu moms to get access to lactation consultation services on demand. We have a very strong competitive position in the space. Other solutions for massage are either handheld gadgets or bulky and expensive devices. Lilu offers portability, convenience, and a sleek design at a competitive price point. And this market is $3 billion and on pace to at least double by 2025. We also see a lot of potential growth in the market, which is driven by innovation and changing behaviors. As some examples, we see that mom tech companies that are gaining traction are combining physical products with digital capabilities and insights. But many of the problems related to breast pumping still remain unaddressed, which is where we see an ongoing opportunity. We want to be at the forefront of innovation in the pumping space. Over the next 12 months, in addition to product refinements, we're investing into developing the Lilu Health app to allow moms to automatically log and track milk production by embedding sensors into the bra that will allow moms to get unique lactation insights and obtain personalized expert guidance. To that end, we are raising a seed round to fund product improvements, as well as app development and ongoing customer acquisition. If you're interested in discussing opportunities for collaboration in marketing, distribution, or investment, we'd love to talk to you. Please join us in building technology that empowers new moms.
Great. Thank you so much, Adriana. We do have a few minutes for questions if anyone has, and maybe I'll kick it off with a question. I may have missed this, but are you working with any hospitals or hospital systems?
We are working with the Children's Hospital of Philly, so still Dr. Diane Spatz is one of our main advisors who is leading clinical trials with the product. So we
Okay.
got our clinical trial approved in March. It's obviously been postponed, but
Right.
it's still in the pipeline of work.
Okay. That's amazing. One question. Okay, we have a few questions now. What's your current and projected revenue?
Yeah, so to date it's 60,000. We are hoping to, with more of the B2B2C sales channels, to close the year at 150. But really where we see the growth potential for Lilu is in the digital and health tech connectivity part of it. In terms of, what was the other question?
What's the story behind the
Oh,
name Lilu?
oh yeah. We were really looking into building a brand that was, it's all about the branding for us. Memorable, that conveyed some sort of everything in the lactation space was called like after a Greek goddess of
Uh-huh.
lactation, and women don't want that. So Lilu, simple, memorable. Hopefully you would agree.
Great. A few other questions. What is the medical billing potential, and can
Mhm.
doctors prescribe and insurance or Medicaid cover?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's something that we've been looking for. That's why the importance of the clinical trials. We've conducted internal pilots to really focus on the increase in, it's not only the increase in breast milk output, but how much longer can women that use our product can breastfeed for, because that ties into not only US goals, but larger goals by UNICEF, the World Health Organization. So clinical trials is one of the ways that we're paving way for that. And the other is to expand just research. So we are actively looking, I didn't include it in my ask, but being able to collaborate with potentially other hospitals or clinical and research institutions. We are actually, as you mentioned, Lori, we went through the ICOR program. So we are looking more into NSF and NIH grants to expand research in the breastfeeding space and how this product can make a big difference. So we've talked to the others. I would say it's probably easier for us to work with nonprofits organizations and milk banks that are already working with like medical and Medicaid communities.
Okay,
So we
great.
are kind of tackling that from instead working with the nonprofits that are already doing that work.
Can you talk a little bit about your competitors and what is your competitive advantage?
In terms of competitors, there is a growing kind of market in the breast pump booster, we're calling them. Like it's an emerging market of sorts. So in particular with breast massage, breast compression, and lactation aids, the closest is another company that launched last year with a product that does some sort of compression with a bra. In terms of price point, in terms of like the compactness of the design, we are pretty well poised, but it is a matter of continuing to innovate. And where we also see that our advantage, some of our main advantages are that because our product is compatible with existing breast pumps, it's all about getting in with the right distributors, bundling with existing breast pump companies. And we're having some early conversations around that, and we're seeing some, it resonates with some important stakeholders in the space. So for us, the next year or so, it's about cracking into important distribution channels and these partnerships. And we have a sort of early movers advantage in this space.
Next up, we have a really neat company affiliated with the Penn Innovation Center, Zero Eyes.
All right. Well, thank you for having me. I'm Mike Laif. I'm the CEO of Zero Eyes. We're a veteran-owned software company. We have backgrounds from military special operations and technology. And we started Zero Eyes because we wanted to do something about mass shootings. Our software uses computer vision models over existing security cameras to detect weapons and then send those alerts to first responders to do three things. Send a description of the shooter, what type of weapon it has, and a geolocation of that threat. This is to reduce response times during these events. I brought our team slide up to the front. It's a big competitive advantage for us. We have 15 full-time members on the team. 9 of us are combat veterans, and those experiences were key in building our software platform. And our backgrounds give a really competitive advantage on the sales front too. I think everyone can agree we have a problem with mass shootings in the United States. Ever since Columbine, they've been growing year over year. It's really disturbing. In 2019, there was 419 mass shootings alone. That's more mass shootings than there were days in a year, and a mass shooting is defined as 4 more people that were injured during one of these events, and the shooter was indiscriminately shooting at the people. The average police, when you dial into any one of these events or look at any specific event, the average police response time is 15 minutes. The solutions for mass shooting prevention, they're right now are very costly. They're reactive, meaning after shots are fired, and they're disruptive to business. And the proposed solutions out there are add more guards, but they're prone to human error, and they can only be in so many places at once. Add more cameras. We have over 100 million commercial security surveillance cameras in the United States, and less than 1% of them are running any type of analytics. And then harden infrastructure, which I don't like going through a TSA checkpoint when I show up to the airport. I do not want to do that when walking into my children's school or going into my place of business, and I doubt anyone else here does either. So right now, current active shooter sequence, and there, in the beginning of one of these events, there's always a staging. They typically, most crime starts off in a parking lot. They expose their weapons very early. They're there to psych themselves up, and they don't care that people see them because they want to instill that fear right away, and that's what they're going for. Well, what happens right now without Zero Eyes being in place, shots are fired, and then it's chaos. People are trying to run to safety. It's not until 1 to 2 minutes into one of these events that 911 is called, and then it's inaccurate reporting. Police are not sure exactly where to go. They're showing up to a 30-acre campus. Now, in a Zero Eyes scenario, we go over the existing security cameras. We do not install new cameras. We do not pull wire. It is software. We deploy it on-prem or in the cloud. And when a shooter walks into a field of view of that camera that we're running on, we'll detect that weapon, and we send an alert out via mobile and desktop notification. And then we keep pushing real-time alerts so the first responders could dial into where that threat is and stop it as soon as possible. Here's a couple of quick snapshots of our system running in different environments. We've deployed in schools, malls, corporate campuses, and some of these are from our office. We always get questions, well, if it's a black rifle and a person's wearing a black jacket or a black sweatshirt, we'll pick up the weapon. So we show that here with the pistol and a rifle. Low light conditions, night, dark, in crowds, and then high angle, far away shots. Down here in the bottom right, that pistol it's almost 50 feet away in that image, and that's at a mall that we're deployed at down in Georgia. I put the revenue model and the market size here together. So I mentioned earlier there's 100 million commercial security cameras in the United States alone. That's a lot of cameras. We charge $20 per camera per month on average, depending on the number of cameras that we have a tiered pricing for volume. That's a $24 billion annual recurring revenue market in the United States alone. So we started the company in March 2018, but we didn't really get anything going until June. Started off in my basement, like a typical startup, and then we went into our first beta site in January 2019. So starting off at the bottom down here, that's Rancocas Valley High School. We started there, and then we're heads down focused, developing the AI and the software platform, and then they converted to our first customer. Then we went to a South Pittsburgh High School down in Tennessee. They were our second customer. Then we had our first commercial contract signed right at the beginning of the year, and the K through 12 sales cycle is very long, and it's a very small window in a year when they purchase. And then this commercial deal closed in less than 30 days, and so we started getting a lot more traction in the commercial space. And then we went into a Kenosha Unified School District. We started off with a pilot on 18 cameras. And then we went and installed. It took 2 hours to install. The police came to see us demo, and we had people walking through with guns. And then within a month, they signed 5 more schools, and now they're signing another 5, and there's 30 more schools in that school district. And that's what we're starting to see over and over. And then we have 2 key pilots going on right now, one with Simon Property Group, another one with Home Depot. We're installed Home Depot's corporate headquarters. They have 62 corporate campuses that they're interested in purchasing this for. And then Simon Malls has over 300 properties. We're in one right now. We're wrapping up that pilot next week and looking good. We also do a live webinar demo every Thursday at 1 o'clock. So if anyone is interested in seeing it and seeing a live demonstration, feel free to hit me up after this and I'll get the invite out to you. So what's our vision for this is we really see weapon detection over security cameras being federally mandated like fire alarms in the next 3 to 5 years. My parents started out with nuclear fallout shelters drills. I was in fire alarm drills. What kicked off me starting ZeroEyes is my oldest daughter, who was in 7th grade at the time, right after the Parkland shooting, went through lockdown drills at her school. Something needs to change. We're going to set the industry benchmark for this emerging technology. So when someone asks, what do we do to prevent mass shootings? We want people to answer ZeroEyes. We self-funded the first $500K of the company to get us through product development. And then we raised a $2.5 million seed round that we closed back in February. And then we're really looking to build relationships for a Series A in early 2021. Right now, we forgot to hit on this on a sales pipeline slide, but we're at 100K in annual recurring revenue right now. We closed we didn't start sales until Q4 2019. We had 30K in annual recurring revenue, and we're on track with the closings that we have in the pipeline to be around 1.5 million in ARR by the end of the year.
Someone asked if a raise is happening and the terms. Is there anything, you just talked about that, is there anything else related to the terms maybe you want to share?
No, it's kind of TBD on the Series A. Like we're just trying to build relationships, and it really depends on how the sales funnel starts converting here, what that's going to look like.
Okay, and someone else had a suggestion that you connect with Percepta, which is a company that just won a bunch of prizes in the Wharton startup competition, and also as an iCore participant. They have an AI-based camera to detect shoplifting. And actually, I can make that introduction. It could be an interesting conversation. So I'm happy to do that. Any other questions? People are very interested in your demo link. I have a quick question. Are you finding more scale or more kind of quick interest from K-12 or higher ed? Because I know we've talked about K-12. Just curious what the sales cycle is and all that.
So K through 12 typically only buys in the summer months. That's when they do their budgeting. And COVID really obviously threw everything off track. They went into a holding pattern to see what they're going to do with their budgets, and they were like, we're trying to figure out distance learning with our students right now and when they're coming back to school and what that's going to look like. However, in the last 2 weeks, it's really picked up with schools again. But during COVID, what was interesting was the commercial side. Like Simon was like, hey, we want to go right now. Home Depot, same thing. And then we had SC Johnson hit us up. And especially the live webinars have really helped. And I mean, look what's going on in the world. It's sad. It's very disturbing. But you have lines to gun stores wrapping around city blocks. It's insane. And so people are pretty freaked out, and it's unfortunate. So commercial picked up for us. K-12 is in a holding pattern. Higher ed, it's been hit or miss. We're working on some pilots with Penn, obviously, over at the Innovation Center, Princeton, and then what was it, Chicago State and Georgia State.
Next, we have Pawsitive. Really great to have them here. Kind of a pivot in terms of focus, and I think something we'll all enjoy. So welcome.
Thank you so much. And I'm here with my partners, Echo and Andrew as well, and they'll start.
Hi everyone. We're here to talk about Pawsitive, the pet wellness community. My name is Echo, and I'm the design lead. I'm here with our business lead, Samaya, and our vet expert, Andrew. Before anything, have you heard the saying, it takes a whole community to raise a baby? Well, it's true for fur babies as well. Pawsitive is that pet wellness community that helps you raise happy, healthy dogs. We grow an authentic community step by step. We start from connecting dog parents together so they can get motivated in this buddy system to walk their dogs. The buddy system also works for giving each other supports and advices while raising their dogs. Then we provide them with this inclusive community where they can join group chats that focus on different topics like training, nutrition, etc. We support the dog parents to gain more knowledge on those dog-related topics, not only from other dog parents, but also from our partnered trainers, nutritionists, and vet specialists in the Pawsitive community to give more professional help. This professional help is also personalized and well-tailored to each dog based off our dog personality quiz. We help dog parents and the specialists to understand dog behaviors and health status to figure out what the dogs actually need. We're holding the dog parents accountable. Given everything that's going on right now, we need wellness and connections more than ever, and that's why the Pawsitive community is a solution. Community was a solution for me when I rescued my dog Boogie from the street of New York City. I was a first-time dog parent. I was so easy to get panic. I didn't know how to get her to pee on a pee pad. I didn't know why she puked. Too lazy to walk her every day. Didn't know what to feed her. It was just all over the place. And 56% of all American dogs are overweight or obese, and according to the vet, Boogie was one of them. I was super upset that I tried everything to help her, but I screwed up everything as well. I guess that's how every parent felt for the first kid. When I met two other dog parents, Elva and Sydney, at the park, my life got so much easier. They had the same problems before, so they could answer a lot of my questions. And we also scheduled dog walks and dog picnics together. Boogie and I both got healthier and happier. We knew more people eventually and became a part of this New York dog lover community where one's question can quickly be answered by another. And people are giving recommendations on good vets and good trainers. No one has to be a single dog parent ever again. Pawsitive helps you arrive right into the community with other dog parents and experts without any emotional roller coasters.
So in the veterinary profession, we have a saying, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Other apps like Wag and Rover focus on exercising dogs through dog walkers, Big is a dating app for pet parents, and Fuzzy focuses on the treatment of pets in addition to routine veterinary care. The DIY preventative aspect of pet care has been until now unfulfilled by other apps. We partner with expert trainers, behaviorists, and nutritionists to form a robust wellness community through our subscription. One of the most important aspects of Pawsitive is providing the users with curated information that removes the guesswork from caring for their dogs. From interactions with thousands of dog owners in a veterinary setting, it's obvious that new owners see the responsibility of finding reliable training, nutrition, and general health information extremely daunting. We seek to remove that anxiety by doing the work for them and taking a science-backed stance that users can trust. In addition to providing readily accessible training, behavior, and nutrition content to users, we'll funnel users toward services and products based off of the results of a canine personality test. So this test, it's going to be based off of a well-regarded scientific questionnaire called the Canine Behavioral Assessment and Research Questionnaire, or CBARQ, C-B-A-R-Q. CBARQ was developed by UPenn and is used by Board of Veterinary Behaviorists as a tool for behavior consults. The whole questionnaire takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and it identifies traits that can be targeted as both areas for improvement as well as potential liabilities. So we're going to rework this questionnaire into a format that can be taken in multiple parts and provide users with valuable information about their dogs. This information will then allow service and product recommendations to be tailored to each user's needs.
And because we're taking such a personalized approach, we believe that 1 to 4% of the total market, or 48 million dog owners in America, will make frequent purchases on our app. It starts with the free matching capabilities. We believe 10% of the market will download the app and use it for free, connecting with pet parents and over free wellness challenges. They'd be curious about their dog's personality profile and then purchase the monthly subscription at $4.99 a month to access short DIY dog training and wellness videos. We also believe that they'll spend $100 to $300 a year, 1% of our users, on video calls with experts, and we would collect 30% margins from these calls. This is a small price compared to the $1,000 to $2,000 dog owners spend on their pets every year. We'd scale from walkable cities to suburbs, earning a total of $423 million by year 6 in the business. We'd start with Philadelphia, a city we know and love best, generating a revenue of $352,000 in our first year of business. Philly has a dog owner population of 220,000 pet parents, and we believe that 20,000 of these parents will download the app for free. 2,000 of them will actually purchase the subscription. In year 2, we'd move to New York City, a city with 375,000 dog owners, and by year 3, we hope to scale to Seattle, Chicago, and San Francisco as well. We're Team Pawsitive. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to us. And if you want to follow us for cute dog memes, check out @Pawsitive app. We can also put the demo of our existing prototype in the link, in the chat link. We'd be launching our beta app this summer thanks to the Penn Innovations Accelerator, and we couldn't have done it without all our mentors and all the support from Penn. Thank you so much.
Do you have, where do you, and as participants in our iCore program, I know you've done a lot of kind of customer discovery. Can you just talk a little bit more about who your ideal customer may be? I know you did that already, but just a little bit more in these cities.
Definitely, and it was really all thanks to the iCore program, because before we joined the program, we were going to be more of a Fitbit for dogs, and we were going to track a bunch of analytics on, dog exercise and dog nutrition, but we realized that that was not the core issue that pet parents have. It's really the anxiety around taking care of a pet and being a mom or dad for the first time. It's very similar to having a child, and so we decided to approach the problem from more of a social standpoint, and that's what you see today, Pawsitive as a social wellness app. And our target user would be first-time pet parents living in cities, high-density cities, walkable cities with a lot of dog owners. So a city like Philadelphia is perfect. They tend to be, they've just gotten their new apartment. Maybe they're a couple and this dog is their practice baby. So thanks to iCore, we interviewed 20 first-time pet parents. 5 or 6 of them were couples, and we're trying to segment the market even further.
Great. Are there any other questions? Let's see. Have you considered marketing through humane societies for people who are just adopting pets? It's a great question.
Definitely. I think we're going to do outreach right now on approaching animal shelters, breeders, humane societies. At the moment, we're still validating our pet care perspective. So we're talking to a bunch of nutritionists, dog trainers, end-of-life care experts. And then once we have the full features of the app developed, hopefully by the end of the summer, we'd really have a better launch plan and a way of onboarding first-time pet parents onto the app. But for now, we're just growing an Instagram presence.
Great. And I'm sure with all the recent dog adoptions during COVID, that actually you probably have a lot of potential new customers. Can you further explain the revenue model through video calls? Do you have information on your margins?
We made the assumption of a 30% margin, and we made the assumption that 1 to 4% of the market would purchase these calls and spend $100 to $300 a year. So we increased that percentage. In year 1, it might just be 1% in the financial model, but by year 4, we would get to 4% of our users using the video calls. And this is something we realized was a spontaneous approach. With the social aspect, dog owners are more comfortable going to Jane down the street or a Slack forum or a Reddit group rather than approaching a professional, because they don't want to spend the full $100 on a consultation or a training package. But if we can break it down into baby steps, and if they can just pay per minute for a video or a consultation on how to get their dog to stop jumping on strangers when people come in for a party, those are the kinds of things they need help with. So CBARC, as Andrew had mentioned, really dissects where they would need professional help opposed to where they could just do a DIY approach.
Okay, great. And I think one last question. How do you estimate the numbers for customer acquisition in Philadelphia, for example?
So there was an article by the Philly Inquirer about the percentage of dog owners in Philly in 2018. So that's where we got our number of 220,000 dog owners in the greater Philadelphia area. We believe that the estimate of 10% is based on looking at Center City and really focusing on Center City dog owners and really doing it within 1 mile radius of Center City, Philadelphia. And that's where we believe that would be where most of our dog owners would live. And we're still figuring out the market. So unfortunately, because of COVID, we've not had a chance to go to the dog parks as much or visit trainers in person. And so we really would love to get that in-person element back, hopefully when things open back up.
I'm very pleased to introduce everyone to Prohibix, which is a very innovative startup out of Penn, based at the Penn Innovation Center.
Great. So we're an early stage biotech company spun out of Penn, and we're developing a platform hyaluronic acid hydrogel technology to locally treat tissues throughout the body. Many of you may have heard of hyaluronic acid. It's quite a buzzword these days in skin creams and other facial products. HA is a long hydrating polymer that's naturally found in the body. It's in these skin creams to hydrate, but there's also a lot of sales in injectable HA products to relieve pain in the joints due to osteoarthritis, as well as dermal fillers to fill wrinkles in the skin. And so, we've developed a really innovative, novel HA that's chemically modified in a proprietary way that unlocks a lot of different properties and potential for using HA to treat different diseases throughout the body. So we're able to really control material properties of these hydrogels to make injected HA in the joints last longer and to be more effective in lubricating the joints, as well as in the skin, where we can incorporate other active molecules. And this photo shown here all this blue you're seeing is stimulating collagen production, which current HA products as dermal fillers don't do, as well as some really novel uses of HA that we've received a lot of non-dilutive funding, and is really where the story of Prohibix started, using these materials that can be delivered through a catheter minimally invasively to treat different organs throughout the body that couldn't really be targeted before. And so as a platform technology, there's a lot of different ways we can go. Did this go to the next slide, just to be sure? Can't really see anyone. Yes. Assuming, okay. So there's, a lot of different markets that we've identified, really focused on knee osteoarthritis, where HA products sell really well as a lubricant, but they don't last very long, and their efficacy is debated because of that. So, we're looking at launching a human HA device product that lasts a lot longer than the currently available, as well as combination products, both to relieve the symptoms and really target joint destruction that occurs over time in the joints. There's opportunities to out-license pretty early in our development for equine, for horses. HA is used quite a bit as a maintenance for horses to keep them performing at their best, as well as early opportunities as a novel dermal filler. And again, as I mentioned, we have some pretty significant non-dilutive funding for projects we're working on for delivering these materials to the heart as a surgical tool to really treat a number of different heart diseases, as well as a new development where we can turn our HA into particles and we're able to target the lung injury due to COVID-19. And we're working with collaborators at Yale over the next 6 months to a year, and hopefully we'll be able to contribute to this really devastating pandemic and disease. Here's an example of our lead products that we're looking at for osteoarthritis. As I mentioned, the current standard of care for knee pain and this gradual destruction of joint tissue, HA can be injected in the knee. It doesn't last very long. There's a temporary symptom relief, but this process of joint destruction and cartilage erosion seen here from some of our recent data occurs. And ultimately, the only solution is a knee replacement surgery. So we're developing both HA and, seen here, HA gel plus drug products that both provide long-term symptom relief, so you can feel better, do the things you like to do. It also protects the cartilage to really put off the need for a knee replacement. And this is really the holy grail of development of therapeutics for OA, things that target both symptom and structure, which no one's been able to do to date. This work, is near and dear to my heart. It builds off my thesis project in bioengineering at Penn, where I worked with Jason Burdick, who's a real world-renowned expert in using HA for a number of different medical applications. And with the help of PCI Ventures and other folks at Penn, we've a few other programs. We've really connected with a lot of great business advisors, Ken Pugh, Manisha, and David Brooks, who have launched products in medical device and pharma industries, led investor relations teams, and have seen these technologies through early stage out licensing deals. We've also brought on clinical experts, such as Leon Jiang, who has developed HA products for human OA. So we've brought on the experience that we need to move this technology towards the clinic. And I mentioned we have strong SBIR funding, over $2 million to date, as well as some internal grants from Penn that we were very thankful for. To complement this funding, as we can't spend money on everything that we need, we're raising a $250,000 note with a very reasonable cap, considering our non-dilutive funding and the progress we've made. I'd also use this opportunity to connect with any mentors that are out there. Always looking to meet people that have been through this before, are able to lend their advice. Always learning, as this is the first startup that I'm building myself, as well as connections to folks that are experienced in these different indications and markets we're going after, in osteoarthritis, performance horses, medical aesthetics, and cardiovascular medicine. And we're really excited about this technology. We're really excited at the stage we're at, that this could go a lot of different directions, and we're able to really leverage the platform to use resources efficiently. So it's really the same HA modification and gel technology that we're able to explore these different things, and we could see this really becoming something big in the future. So please reach out, and if you're interested in joining us. So thank you.
How do you plan to use the SBIR funding?
Yeah, so the SBIR, there's a portion of that goes to Penn to develop the cardiovascular technology. I mentioned all the work we're doing for the HA modification and gel fabrication we can use across the different indications. So we're going to use that for a lot of the kind of implementing GMP processes, get our batch reproducibility stuff together. There's also some non-discretionary money in there, so we can do some studies in OA and medical aesthetics that we're planning. And within the next year, the real key milestones we're focused on are having our first meeting with the FDA, as well as an equine large animal half-life study. So we're going to put our HA in the joints of some horses with a collaborator at Penn and show how long it lasts, and show it's much longer than the current product. So we're able to do all this with the SBIR funding. Thanks.
Next, pleased to introduce Atlas, another former I-Corps participant, and looking forward to hearing their presentation.
Okay. So we are Atlas, which is a modern brand of arch support. So 80% of US adults experience back pain, and that number is even higher when we include pains like knee pain and hip pain. And they're treating it very reactively, doing things like going to a chiropractor, physical therapy, massages, painkillers. And these reactive treatments are not only short-term and time-consuming, they're also incredibly expensive. The average person spends about $2,600 when treating back pain a year. But this reactive treatment overlooks something that could actually treat the problem from the cause, and that's our unsupportive footwear. The shoes that we wear don't prioritize proper arch support, which causes misalignment and pain throughout the body. That's something that people aren't really talking about and are overlooking. And we tried to understand why. We spoke to chiropractors and they told us that 80% of their patients could have their back pain mitigated by proper arch support, but only 20% of people, of younger adults that we talk to are currently wearing insoles. And insoles are a great solution to bringing support to unsupported footwear. And we tried to understand, why is no one wearing insoles? And part of it is a lack of education, a lack of awareness and consideration about insoles as a solution for body pain. But then on top of that, for the people that know about the benefits of insoles, the options are really bleak. There's either custom orthotics from your chiropractor or podiatrist that could be hundreds of dollars, sometimes up to $500 or $800, or these brands that you see on the right-hand side that you find in a drugstore that are incredibly medical and geriatric. Brands like Dr. Scholl's that talk about problems like plantar fasciitis and bunions and heel spurs, very specific foot problems that a lot of consumers don't have and don't necessarily identify with, particularly those who aren't looking for a solution for a specific foot problem, but rather for something to support their overall wellness, which is something that arch support can do. So that's where Atlas comes in. Atlas is a brand of footwear that's modernizing arch support and is speaking to an overlooked market of people who care about their wellness and aren't necessarily trying to solve a specific foot problem. Atlas solutions make footwear supportive and beneficial for the body, and we focus on wellness rather than specific foot or medical problems. And we're also focusing on educating consumers, because for a lot of consumers, they don't even realize that their problems start from their feet. And insoles bring support to unsupported footwear. And the Atlas insole is different from other insoles. It actually brings customized support. By using cork as our main product material that molds to the shape of the user's unique arch, providing a customized, personalized support for every user. On top of that, we're using a natural layer of natural latex foam to make the insole incredibly comfortable, and then a layer of vegan microsuede. All of our materials are completely sustainable and natural, and our goal is to be carbon neutral. And then here we see the current landscape, and we see how Atlas is very differentiated from all of them. On the left-hand side, we have a bunch of medically oriented brands. Those are both over-the-counter and doctor prescribed, and ranging in price from $500 to $800. Atlas is different from these brands in our focus on being wellness-oriented and the fact that we are custom molding. And our price point is a very accessible $45.
So Atlas is planning to take a different approach from the industry, but not a different approach from a lot of other consumer products. We're planning to go direct to consumer. This is typical for like an Allbirds or a Warby Parker type of company, but it's never really been seen in the insole space. Planning to leverage the very well-established D2C playbook to really build the brand, but then go into partnerships, because there's so many different types of companies, including footwear manufacturers or retailers or other wellness brands that would really get value from a partnership with us and whose customers we could also reach. So the Atlas insole is actually incredibly profitable, which is something we're super excited about. We have an 80% gross margin from literally manufacturer to the customer's doorstep. So that gives us $36 of gross margin to actually get a new customer. But what's even more exciting to us is the fact that we think customers are going to stick. When you wear insoles and you realize that it can have such great benefits throughout your entire body, you're going to be a customer for life. We feel pretty confident about that. That's the experience that Libby and I have both had when we were able to solve this problem. So over an entire lifetime, we think this could be about $2,700 per customer. However, I think this brings us to a bigger philosophical question where we don't really want to be an insole company. We believe we're a footwear wellness brand. We think that using the insole as sort of the foundational layer, we can build an entire brand around custom, comfortable, supportive shoes. And we think the market for that is so much larger down the road. So starting small, getting really tactical as to the problem that we're solving with the insole, but really blowing that out into other types of insoles, sandals, and shoes in the coming years is our plan. So what are we doing now? We've already identified a manufacturer in Portugal. We went to visit them. They're incredible, super artisanal and ethical. We've gotten a bunch of different rounds of prototypes made. We're currently on our 4th round. and we think it's pretty good. I have a pair right here, if you can see my video screen. I wear them every day when I run, when I walk, whenever I go out, and I have no more foot or back pain. It's actually incredible. We've actually run a pilot with these insoles where we've sent them to a bunch of people around Penn, gotten some great feedback, and are gearing up for our website launch. Quick note on our fundraising, we are planning to do a $100,000 pre-seed round. Libby and I both own 50% of the company, but we're planning to bring outside investors in ahead of our October launch, when we plan to really introduce the brand to the world. A bit more about us. Libby and I both have varied experience in the startup world, but also in the corporate world. We met at Wharton and both realized we had this problem and went about it in different ways. Libby got this advice from a chiropractor that she should be wearing insoles for her back pain. And I got the advice from Libby. She was like, if you have foot or back pain, you should be wearing these. And I was like, maybe I should. So I tried it and I was totally solved. And I think that actually is interesting because we believe word of mouth is going to be so important. And those kinds of conversations are conversations we want to encourage our customers to have. The last point I'll make is that we believe our mission is built around two core values, supporting the body and supporting the planet. We really care about both and think that both are being overlooked right now. Particularly in the footwear space, we think that arch support is just the last of all concerns. People care about design and brand and style, but we think it's on the inside that counts the most. And in terms of the planet, the footwear industry is terrible. Accounts for about 1.5% of all CO2 emissions. And to contextualize that number, the entire airline industry is 2%. So it's really, really close in how bad they both are. But footwear is not nearly as talked about. So we think we can have a really exciting pathway to impact both of these spaces. Happy to take any questions now.
I have a question. How do you plan to do your launch? Have you thought about that?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something we think about all the time. So we're testing product first over the summer. We're buying about 1,000 pairs of insoles, doing a sort of soft launch, getting in people's shoes. We want feedback. This is a new product in an overlooked category, so we really need to understand our customers, who are basically 25 to 45-year-old wellness-oriented millennials. And we really want to understand how they perceive this product and what benefits they get out of it. So parallel processing, we're working with a designer to actually build out the brand with a lot of the values that Libby and I have come up with over the past year of working on this. And it's really the combination of both the product's efficacy and the powerful brand that we think will roll up really nicely as we head to our October launch, which is going to be a much bigger, more traditional PR push, marketing, all the fun things that go along with a brand launch is what we're planning down the road.
Great. We do have another question. What about other shoe brands that focus on comfort and wellness? You didn't refer to them in the competitor list.
Yeah, it's a great point. It's something we actively think about all the time as well. Comfort does not equal support. And I think that's a really big distinction. So in the footwear space right now, there are a lot of brands that say we're comfortable, but they don't actually have arch support that's good for your overall body and overall wellness. Right now, when we launch, we are launching as an insole. We are not in the footwear space yet, but down the road, we do obviously recognize the intention to go into that space and recognize most people haven't even heard of the biggest players except for Birkenstock. And most people don't even really think of Birkenstock as a supportive footwear brand, but they actually do have orthopedic footbeds. And so we see an opportunity to really leverage some of the messaging of, yeah, you like Birkenstocks, do you know why? Because they're made of cork and they're supportive and they make your whole body feel good. And why aren't your shoes made of that? And I think it's that kind of messaging that we plan to really bring into the space. And we think that'll resonate with millennials and people beyond millennials as well, who just want shoes that are good for them.
Okay, and another question is what, I agree with you, what will your sales channels be?
Yeah, that's a great question and something we've been thinking about a lot. So we're going to start with direct to consumer. So we'll be online selling through our website, which will enable us to maintain really great margins and also maintain a really strong relationship with our customer and be able to build that over time and also leverage insights from their use and behavior. But then we've also just from conversations with chiropractors and podiatrists have already gotten great feedback and have multiple chiropractors that say that they want to be able to sell this product to their patients. So that's another channel that we hope to get into. And then Eventually, we also see some strategic retail partnerships. So with specific brands that might be focused in the wellness space and be very relevant to consumers that we like a lot, or that we're targeting. So I think that would also give us some more opportunity to develop awareness of the brand, and also, and because we have such great margins, we are able to leverage retail partnerships in addition to our direct-to-consumer business model.
Great. And one last question. Can you elaborate more on how you tackled the product innovation development process? Great question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very agile process. Libby and I both come from tech backgrounds, but we've been operating on this thesis that the customer sort of will be able to give us all the insights, right? There's a reason our demographic that we're targeting is not wearing them, and so we need to work very closely with them to understand why. We've partnered with a manufacturer in Portugal. They've been incredible and adaptive, and we've given them constant feedback and done numerous rounds of prototyping. But basically what we've done is just worn them ourselves and gotten them in people's shoes to get their feedback. It's been really fascinating because we don't know how to do physical product development, or at least we didn't before this, but finding the partner in Portugal has been such a critical component in the design and iteration process with us, along with the knowledge we have from our backgrounds in tech, has really allowed us to marry the two in a way that actually has turned out like an incredible product that we're very, very proud of, and actually does what we promise, which is on top of anything most important.
How did you find the manufacturer?
That's a good question. Yeah. So we first, like one of the first early decisions that we made about the product itself was that we want it to be made out of cork, or at least the base to be made out of cork. And like we've mentioned, some of the amazing attributes of cork. And that was sort of where it was kind of a benefit that neither Daniel or I came from a background in insoles. We sort of were very open to exploring new materials that aren't that traditionally used in insoles. But then once we decided to go with cork, we did a lot of research about where cork is manufactured and harvested, and most of the world's cork is harvested in Portugal. And then we sort of narrowed down our factories to be looking specifically at Portugal, and then we found one that really does specialize in footbeds. And they're just a great partner. They are on the smaller side, so they're very eager to partner with us, and they have no minimum orders and are also just very knowledgeable about footbeds in general and the design. So they've been really helpful in prototyping with us.
They also have the capability to scale, which is very important and something we anticipate we'll need.
And last but not least, I'm really pleased to welcome Jared Cannon from Simply Good Jars and a participant/graduate from the first Pennovation Accelerator.
All right, nice to see you guys. Thanks for having us. Looking forward to updating our current progress and some of our asks. So my name is Jared Cannon. I'm the founder and CEO of Simply Good Jars, and we're building a fresh food supply chain around an amazing consumer product. So if you look at the broader category of fresh, the packaged salads are by far the #1 mover, but there are no restaurant quality salads in market today. They don't make your taste buds dance. These are just kind of there when you need them. You know, we've created a higher standard for fresh, highly desired prepackaged meals with a chef-crafted approach to create simply delicious restaurant quality meals for the grab and go space. These meals are good for you, good for the environment, and good for your taste buds. We realize that the post-consumption experience is an aspect ignored by every single product in market today. And we were the first to introduce returnable, reusable packaging, and very successfully. Year one, we saw about 93% come back. We closed 2019 with 81% coming back to us. So it's been amazing to see, and we look forward to continuing that trend. So in every market that you can buy Simply Good Jars right now, you can return that jar back to us. We'll wash it, reuse it, and donate 1 meal equivalent to that local area's food bank to help feed someone in need, and in some cases create job creation opportunities for the less fortunate. This program is currently suspended given the virus, so we assume once there's some sort of result in terms of a vaccine, that we'll be able to resume this. But, you know, in the face of COVID, we had a ton of pivoting happening. salad bars have closed, which has created a massive opportunity for us actually. And, we believe we're uniquely positioned to be able to not only survive, but thrive in a post-COVID world with a low-contact prepackaged salad. So we completed a Series Seed last year. We deployed a one-of-a-kind machine that was custom built for us, literally in the world. We have a second one delivering at the end of this month and have fully commercialized at scale in South Jersey. Over Easter weekend, in the midst of a pandemic, we opened the Chicago market with our partner Walgreens, which has been going spectacular. And over Memorial Day, we launched 174 convenience stores in all Mid-Atlantic states and Ohio, which expands to 600 stores by the middle of July. And we continue to seek inbound interest to flood us for this product in these markets and grocery stores. Natural, all this kind of stuff that used to have salad bars. We're also looking at, our partnerships with Aramark and Compass Group, that similar issue, right? We become a solution for that missing buffet style service. And we've launched a couple of these pilot programs that, we're selling upwards of 80 plus products a day in these channels. And finally, we, in lieu of COVID, we pivoted very quickly to a home delivery model and also donated I think we donated 6,500 meals to healthcare workers, leveraging our smart vending fridges that were existing in the spaces. We just made them free and stocked them multiple times a week. We just recently, I think Wednesday, launched on GoPuff in the Philly market to start, but that expands to all of their markets in the beginning, top of Q3, and we're really excited to be able to offer fresh, healthy meals in minutes, literally through an app. But our primary focus as a business has shifted to selling our products at scale, by the pallet, by the case, through a distribution center, using returnable packaging crates instead of cardboard, again to align with our sustainability initiatives as a B Corp. And in May, for example, we're averaging about 24 pallets per week and growing exponentially with some of these partners. So we're looking to not only grow regionally, but nationally with partners we already have lined up that are looking at our category as an expansion or replacement for their current. And part of this plan is a Series A in what was supposed to be the fall, but now Q1 of Q2 of next year, to basically have a presence to service 90% of the population. So interestingly enough, before COVID, we had projected to do about 12,000 jars or so per month, and we've already exceeded that, which is pretty cool. And but as part of this bridge between our Series A, we've opened up a $500,000 to $750,000 bridge round with a 20% convertible note. That allows us to continue to take on these opportunities and really position ourselves at a position of strength for the A, in Q1. So this interest has been pretty cool. I mean, we're looking at surpassing $3 million just this year, and growing that almost 3x the year thereafter. And that's why we love this model of being able to scale very efficiently and effectively through kind of the wholesale model, if you will, product forward. We've got an amazing team ready to go to market in a big way that have led global products and supply chain operations throughout the world, and also a great team that has been with us since the beginning. Great board of directors focused on production, distribution, final mile sustainability, and operations, and an advisory board that continues to challenge our thinking, help us scale, and really open up doors and opportunities. And to wrap up, as a B Corp, we really think about profits in a unique way, and realizing that impact can in itself become a profit. And our 5-year projection shows that, through the delivery of an easier, healthier meal and less plastic waste, we can impact over $61 million in 5 years. So with that, I'll conclude and hope that there's interest to join us in the future of prepackaged meals. Thanks, guys.
Is Chalbotics considered a main competitor?
I don't think so. It literally costs the customer, say, $35,000. It's like buying a Tahoe and putting it. where, we're a product company, right? So, you just buy our salad like you would someone else's sandwiches or hard-boiled eggs or whatever. So startup cost, from a CapEx perspective is zero, and speed to scale is realized very quickly.
Okay, and actually, I'm curious myself because your comment about how salad bars are creating the closing of salad bars create a big opportunity for you. What other, given the total disruptive change in the restaurant industry, do you see emerging for your product, which is safely enclosed and easily scalable?
I don't know. I think that it would be wise for restaurants to create some sort of grab and go system in the front of their spaces in order to create that quick, easy, contactless option. Scan yourself and pay, or something. I think I've been doing a lot of brainstorming on restaurant trends, actually. I think there's going to be some interesting things coming out of this where people are going to act a little bit differently and probably for our benefit as consumers.
Great, and I think your background and experience probably will be, you're well poised to take advantage of what's next. I don't know if folks know, but Jared was involved with the growth of Honeygrow, so yeah. that was a great kind of chain here on the East Coast. Would you consider educational institutions, schools, universities as possible markets for quick, easy, healthy meals?
Yeah, so before COVID, we were operating in universities and we were actually deploying on campus at Drexel. I think we literally a week before the city shut down, we had our placement on site and that got canceled. So yeah, I believe that, anywhere where there is a need for fresh, healthy, quick options, that our product plays really well. And maybe even more so now where people are a little bit more aware of, quality, cleanliness, sanitation.
Okay, great. And another question, how do you compare to Couch Tomatoes Jar Garden, and what is the average price of a jar? Are you
to my knowledge, Jar Garden went out of business, to my best knowledge. But from a quality perspective, we're superior to pretty much anything that you can get your hands on. So it really comes down to the user experience to deliver restaurant quality food in a convenient way, in a sustainable way. 86% of our customers buy a second time in the same week after trying it once.
And what is the average price of a jar?
$8.99.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. Great to see your progress. And thanks so much to everyone for participating. I want to hand it over to my colleague, Jamie Sweet, who's the programming manager with the Penn Innovation Center, to wrap us up.
We just wanted to thank all of you. Thank you to Emma Voss and the Penn Wharton Club of Austin for helping us pivot to virtual. This was great. We truly appreciate your continued support. Thank you to all the startups for participating this afternoon. Please keep in touch. We love to hear all of your progress. And then last but not least, this was a great team effort with the Innovation at Penn group. So thank you to PCI Ventures, and the Pennovation Works team who are involved in planning, pivoting, and preparing this virtual event. Thank you.